Okay, yeah, just let me know, and we're good to go. Just waiting for it. Okay. That 450 radio is not working well. I could barely hear you, but I heard most of that, Jack. Okay, in 10. Thank you, Jack. Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the NBCLA app and NBCLA.com. This is Gil Davis in News Chopper 4 Bravo, along with my pilot, Patrick McKernan. We're watching this pursuit coming out of the San Diego area, coming up the 5 freeway northbound. You can see a trail of officers in pursuit. Again, this all starting in the San Diego area, has moved up 80 miles an hour on the freeway northbound from San Diego through Carlsbad, and now coming into the San Clemente area. You can see that vehicle failing to yield. Now we understand the want on this was for speed and has refused to pull over. Now, one of the problems we've been having with getting down here is the weather. It's a little bit foggy, as you can tell by our picture. Still waiting for the pursuit to reach us up here just north of the San Clemente area. We're about to Dana Point right now, and the pursuit continuing here northbound 5 freeway. And now I'm hearing, listening to the California Highway Patrol talking about trying to possibly set up spike strips in the area, but that is unconfirmed as of yet. But again, the speed's a little too fast for a pit maneuver. Again, News Chopper 4 Bravo, we're the first news helicopter on scene to pick up this pursuit coming out of the San Diego area. Within about a mile of our position right now, we're going to start turning our helicopter to keep track of this pursuit as he continues northbound into the Dana Point area. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 4 units in pursuit, and they're going to be handing off to the San Juan Capistrano units shortly. I also know that the California Highway Patrol is launching a helicopter this way out of the Fullerton area. You can see that vehicle coming here, a red vehicle. And off we go, off to the races. Here he goes, northbound 5 coming out our side right now. Getting a little bit of a look at the driver. Looks like it's hard to tell, but it looks like it's a male driver. It's a Nissan Rogue, according to our assignment desk. And continuing, he's got fairly light traffic here on the 5 northbound. The southbound side is much heavier. You can see the California Highway Patrol signaling to that driver coming onto the freeway to back off as this pursuit comes by them. The driver continuing to drive pretty much in that same lane, not driving too erratic, except for the high speeds that we were hearing earlier. Speeds have slowed down, looks like about 75 miles an hour. Northbound 5 at Camino Capistrano, 70 miles an hour according to the CHP unit directly behind it, calling the pursuit. You can see the CHP trying to get this guy's attention to say, hey, pull over, we've been behind you a long distance, it's time to give it up. Continuing to hear the California Highway Patrol officers talking about getting a spike strip up ahead, although the problem is it's a pretty wide freeway here coming up to the Ortega Highway, and difficult to get a spike strip out in the center of the freeway. As you can see, this guy is pretty much in the center of that freeway. He's in that second lane from the right. It's possible they can get a spike strip there, but any further inward, he's going to be difficult with the traffic out here. Passing the Ortega Highway now. Speeds drop now to about 65 miles an hour. Here's another look at the officers behind. Because it's so dark in this part of the freeway, I'm going to activate our infrared camera system to see if we can get any more details out of this picture for you, so you can see a little better. You can see the red of the picture coming in. That's our infrared system. The glow of the tail lights, and the driver looks like he's illuminated there by the side mirror. We also use our doubler to come in here and look tight. It looks like he's got a cell phone on his lap. $75 miles an hour, so kicked it up a little bit here. 75 miles an hour, northbound 5. I'm going to come out of our doubler there, and again, we're dealing with some fog in the area. Now, I can tell you that there are units in position to do a spike strip. The question is, will they be able to get it in the middle of the freeway like this? Second. Northbound 5 freeway, we got ahead of the pursuit a little bit because of the terrain. We're having to stay right over the freeway. And we definitely hit some fog as we were coming past down the 405 freeway. About the El Toro Y, we started to see the fog rolling in and knew we'd have a problem getting to the pursuit, but the pursuit was coming to us at a high rate of speed, so it didn't take long for the pursuit to get to us. The good news is we're the first news helicopter on scene, and we're able to navigate this fog right now. As long as we stay over the freeway, we're good to go. But again, the pursuit continuing. 75 miles an hour, northbound 5 in the Mission Viejo area now. At Avery Parkway now, northbound 5, 74 miles an hour. Again, the traffic is fairly light northbound 5. He's going to start hitting some heavier traffic as he approaches the El Toro area where the 405 and 5 meet. But for now, he's got a couple more miles before he gets to that point. Again, this pursuit starting in the San Diego area at a high rate of speed coming northbound on the 5. .73 miles an hour northbound 5. The area that they were talking about, the spike strip, this car is already past that area. It looks like they weren't able to deploy that spike strip because of other traffic and how wide this freeway is, so they'll likely try other attempts up ahead. Still in our infrared mode here, so you can try to see a little bit more detail in the picture of who's behind the wheel. And again, the California Highway Patrol in pursuit of this vehicle sense the San Diego area. This the suspect was able to get through that checkpoint near the Camp Pendleton area, made it through there cleanly, and has continued northbound now, approaching the El Toro area. We'll come out of our infrared camera system for a minute here. Approaching La Paz. Purple. Still holding about 74 miles an hour, northbound 5 freeway. Traffic still light, and we should be seeing the El Toro Y here in about 4 miles. At that point, the driver will be able to take the 405 north or the 5 north, or stay on the 5 north, I should say. Approaching Alicia Parkway now. Driver signaling there to get over. Now the Santa Ana division of the California Highway Patrol will soon be taking over the pursuit as this driver comes into their area. And once again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 units there, one dropping out, another one dropping out. So there's the handoff right there. 69 miles an hour approaching El Toro Road. You can see how wide open the lanes are here for this driver. He's not really going the speeds he was going earlier on in the pursuit, about 80 miles an hour. News Chopper 4 Bravo, the only news helicopter on this pursuit right now. $73 miles an hour. You got him right over the freeway? Okay. Now I see, we're seeing the California Highway Patrol chopper coming in to the pursuit now. We'll see a night sunlight come on the vehicle momentarily. As there it is, and they're on the scene. So now California Highway Patrol on the ground, in the air, in this pursuit. Oh, a little vehicle got a little close there. Probably didn't realize what was coming at him. It's got the El Toro Y coming up in about a mile, and we'll see which way this driver decides to go. He's still committed on the 5 right now, but that can change here in a minute. And it looks like he's going to stay on the 5. We'll see. It's still the transition period right now. There's all the signs. There's the the line for the gore point. Right behind the vehicle, slowing down quite a bit. Making that transition. The car in front of him slowing down because he sees the lights and sirens coming from behind. We got a bridge that's blocking our view, but we'll pick that up here in a minute. Looks like northbound 5. Committed to northbound 5 from the El Toro Y. All right, so the next freeway is going to be the 133, which is coming up shortly. Drivers slow down quite a bit, even though there's pretty light traffic. Navigated through that traffic through the El Toro Y. You see them just kind of blending in with all the other traffic, but still failing to yield. Again, this all started as a pursuit for speed, wanted for speed, refusing to pull over down in the San Diego area, has made its way all the way up the 5 freeway. Now in Irvine. Northbound 5 freeway, CHP still in pursuit of this red Rogue. Driver's been politely signaling every time he makes a lanes change. Let's take another look here with the night sunlight. We're going to come in a little tighter and get a look at the driver. Looked like it was a male early on, but still haven't had confirmation on that. We heard earlier that the CHP was talking about a single occupant in this vehicle, so it looks like it's just the driver alone. Hard to tell there if that's a male or a female, but continuing, look at this traffic out here, 0. Hardly any traffic up ahead. It's because he's traveling at freeway speeds now, the 60, 65 miles an hour, not really passing anybody. And of course, no one passing the pursuit because of the blockade there out by the CHP behind the car. So he's really got smooth sailing in his choice of lanes. Earlier on, back at the 73 on the 5 freeway at the 73 interchange, CHP was trying to set up spike strips, but because of the freeway being wide and some traffic there, they were unable to get that spike strip out there. Coming into the Tustin Marketplace in about a mile and a half, 2 miles just up ahead on the 5, and then he's got the 55 freeway to contend with, and I see traffic on the southbound side backing up over there. There might be some sort of injury accident on the southbound side. Does not look like it's impacting the northbound 5 right now, but he's staying in that second to the slowest lane. And we're hearing now from our assignment desk, they're gathering some information on this pursuit early on that it started in the El Cajon area. He was driving erratically on surface streets all in that area, up and down along the 5, and then jumped on the 5 freeway and moving up the 5 freeway, eventually getting here to the Irvine area. But that's kind of where it started. The driver refusing to pull over after driving at a high rate of speed and driving erratically, it sounds like, in the El Cajon area. And now northbound 5 freeway, and there is an accident up ahead, but it's on the southbound side. It's slowing traffic a little bit. Speaking of traffic, we're having to hold up here right about the Jamboree Road because of John Wayne traffic, aircraft coming into John Wayne. So we're seeing the pursuit going away from us right now, and we'll be able to catch up as soon as that traffic for us clears up. I'll come out to a wider shot so you can see that line of CHP officers there approaching Red Hill now, and you'll shortly see on the left-hand side of the screen an accident in the southbound lanes. And now we're hearing that additional spike strips are being talked about up ahead. Here's that accident on the southbound side. Northbound side, free and clear. They made it right through that accident. Now we're getting the green light to go through our airspace. That traffic for us is cleared. We'll see if they are able to deploy that spike strip soon. I won't say where it is right now, not to give it away, but the vehicle right down the center of the freeway, making it very difficult for CHP to deploy anything like that because of the traffic and because of where the driver is. Coming up to the 55 freeway right now, and it looks like he's going to stay committed to the northbound 5 through the 55 freeway. Keeping it wide because they were talking about a spike strip. That might have been the officer back there that was trying to set up the spike strip. I don't know if you saw it at the top of right side of the screen at the on-ramp, Newport on-ramp. He was not able to get it out there, unfortunately. So this is going to continue now, and it looks like if he stays in this lane, it looks like he's going to stay committed. The interchange is right here, and there he goes, committed northbound 5 freeway coming into Santa Ana now. And the next major freeway interchange will be the Orange Crush, the 5 and the 57 and the 22. It's under that bridge right now, that overpass. We'll see him pop out here in just a few seconds. One problem we're going to face is, coming up very soon, is we have a flight restriction in the over Disneyland. So that's going to impede us because of the weather. We're going to have some difficulty trying to get stay over the pursuit, but we'll be able to get around it, that TFR, in a short time if we have to. Okay. Okay, understood that, understood. Sorry about that. We're taking care of a little bit of housekeeping up here in News Chopper 4 Bravo. We are continuing northbound on the 5 freeway, passing Grand Avenue. the pursuit starting in the El Cajon area, moving up the 5 freeway at a high rate of speed. Now the driver driving pretty much 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, coming into some heavier traffic as he approaches the orange crush here at the 22 and the 5 and 57. So he's got a couple options. If he stays in this lane, he should stay on the 5 north, which will make it tough for us to continue to cover it because of the Disneyland flight restriction. Normally we could fly up and above it, but there is a layer of fog right now that we've been contending with. If he takes the 22, either east or west, that won't be a problem for us. If he takes the 57, it'll be a bit of a difficulty, but not as bad as if he takes the 5. And we're going to see here in a minute what happens. It looks like he's setting up for the 5. Northbound 5. Coming past the Main Place Mall right now, then that's really close to the interchange. Yeah. Nice job, Patrick. Okay. We're going to be able to continue with the coverage here. We won't have to peel away, it sounds like. It looks like he's going to stay committed to the 5, although he still could jump on the 57 right here. Here is the 22 freeway right there in your screen, under the 22 freeway, so he's not taking that, but he still could jump on the 57 here if he makes a quick move. It looks like he's not, so he's going to be keeping going here, northbound 5 towards LA. Committed now, northbound 5, but look at these speeds. I mean, he's really barely going the speed limit, if not a little bit slower now. No more talk about spike strips. It's going to be difficult for those officers to deploy that unless it gets in the shoulder or the carpool center divider starts driving there. But look at him right down the center of the freeway, making it really, really tough for officers to get out there and get that spike strip out there. But again, northbound 5, about 60, 65 miles an hour now. Actually bumped it up to about 70, maybe 75 now. You can see another hand up by the California Highway Patrol. Traffic light. Pretty light out here on the 5 freeway as he comes now through the Anaheim area. Copy that. Got it. Let's take another look here and see what the driver's doing. Pretty much what he was doing earlier, it looks like. Again, we haven't been able to confirm if it's a male or female, but we did hear earlier on that the CHP was talking about it being only 1 occupant in the vehicle. Hard to tell. It looks like it's a male driver. Again, if you're just joining us on the NBCLA app and NBCLA.com, this is Gil Davis in News Chopper 4 Bravo, along with my pilot Patrick McKernan. We're covering a police chase. It was a high-speed police chase coming out of the El Cajon area down in San Diego. Was driving erratic at high rates of speeds, reaching the speeds of 80, 85 miles an hour on the freeway on the 5, and it came up all the way up the 5 freeway. Is still on the 5 freeway now, coming through Anaheim. California Highway Patrol units on the ground and a helicopter in the air, lighting them up. The driver just ignoring those units, ignoring the night sunlight of the helicopter above, just continuing to drive in this fashion. We haven't seen any erratic driving on the freeway yet since we picked it up down in the San Clemente area. The driver just keeping it pretty much a steady speed at most 70 to 75 miles an hour. He has picked it up here since he left the Orange Crush interchange just a few miles back. Here's another look at the California Highway Patrol units behind the pursuit. That was Harbor Boulevard, now crossing Ball Road and continuing northbound 5. Next freeway is going to be the 91. It's going to be still about 4 miles up ahead, I'd say, 4 or 5. I'm working the scanners up here in News Chopper 4 Bravo to keep up with the California Highway Patrol units that are on the ground calling this pursuit and in the pursuit to get any details I can. Again, the California Highway Patrol hands off to the next area that the pursuit comes into, and their officers join in. It's pretty much like a relay race. They hand off the pursuit to the next area of CHP. So right now, coming through Anaheim, and we'll see if the driver stays on that 5 freeway. He's going to stay committed to the LA area, or jumps on that 91 and decides to go east or west. Continuing northbound 5 freeway, speeds about 70 miles an hour. Approaching La Palma, 75 miles an hour. We're gonna see the 91 freeway interchange is well lit, and that'll give me an opportunity to take a better look at the driver here as soon as we get into those lights of the interchange. This California Highway Patrol unit putting a little pressure on this guy, saying, hey, you're not going anywhere, we're right here, and we're not leaving until you pull over. So we'll see if that has any influence on the driver or not. Approaching Magnolia now, coming up to the 91. We'll come in for another tight look at the driver. Still tough to make him out. And there we go, right through the 91 interchange. A lot of bridges here. Staying committed to the 5 freeway northbound from the 91. So this is going to continue on now, coming into Buena Park. If you're familiar with the 5 freeway from the 91 up to the 605, which will be the next interchange this person will hit, it's been a construction zone for quite a while. It looks like right now it's smooth sailing up through the construction zone, but actually there might be some lanes closed up ahead, so it might make it a little difficult for the driver. We'll see what the driver does when he gets into some heavier traffic, if he tries to drive erratic or tries to ignore the officers as he's been doing. Signaling, this guy's very polite. He's signaling every time he makes a lane change. He makes that signal. Can't write him up for that, but certainly erratic driving down in El Cajon. News Chopper 4 Bravo, we were the first news helicopter over this pursuit when we picked it up down in San Clemente, coming out of northbound on the 5, coming out of the San Diego area. And we picked it up. That's where we've been ever since, on the 5 freeway. Had many opportunities to go on different freeways, but he's stuck to that 5 freeway north, coming into the Santa Fe Springs area. 75 miles an hour still, looking ahead. Traffic is going to slow down up ahead for sure, because as you see the K-rails there, it's definitely a construction zone as they're doing some freeway widening here. And look at this, down to 2 lanes now. So let's see how he drives and acts here. 3 lanes, I should say, but he's got big rigs, he's got other vehicles, and he's got that 605 freeway interchange to contend with. Down to 3 lanes. Now this might be an opportunity for the CHP to put out a spike strip on this guy, although with the narrowing of the freeway comes the traffic, extra traffic, slower cars slowing down because of it. Becomes more congested even though there's the same amount of cars on the freeway. With the narrower lanes or less of a choice of lanes, but that still has an opportunity for the CHP to get behind one of these K-rails and throw that spike strip out at the last second to try to nail those tires. Haven't heard any talk on that yet. We'll see if that happens, but for now, continuing northbound 5 at about 70 miles an hour. Coming up right at Carmenita, northbound 5, Carmenita, 70 miles an hour. Should be seeing the California Highway Patrol Santa Fe Spring units taking over from the Westminster Department. Now I'm hearing, listening into the Santa Fe Springs units, and it sounds like they're trying to get in position. This would be a great opportunity for them to get out here and try to deploy that with 3 lanes only. They'll have some pretty good luck doing that, but here comes one of the units coming on the freeway now. Copy that. Say that one more time, Jack. Excellent. Excellent. Got heavy traffic coming up. Okay. Approaching some approaching some heavy traffic as he approaches that 605 interchange, and that looks like that's going to be an optimal chance for them to try to do that spike strip. But I can also tell you that we have a ground reporter and some photographers in trail of this pursuit, trying to get some shots and follow this pursuit on the ground as well. So we are well covered in the air, on the ground, and California Highway Patrol well covered on this pursuit in the air and on the ground as well. And now we're going to see some brake lights up ahead as they're talking about trying to set up a spike strip at some point on the 5 freeway here. We'll see if that happens. We see the traffic here as he's passing another big rig. Right down the center lane. And we might be seeing a unit on the side of the road here coming up. Let's see, I saw it out the window. I saw a unit that may have been stopped there on the side of the road. We'll see what happens as he approaches this area. You can see the car slowing down here quite a bit. The driver, though, in this pursuit, this car, the red Rogue, there's that unit we're looking at. Got some trucks there in the way. You got this guy at 10 o'clock, Patrick. Coming up right at the 605 and the 5. Northbound 5 at the 605. And you see the CHP there. This is Norwalk. You got them, Patrick, right? Okay. Committed to the 5 freeway from the 605, so no 605 freeway transition for this guy. He is definitely heading right towards downtown LA on the 5. Now the traffic beyond the 605 here looks like it's a little bit heavier, so, but it doesn't seem to be phasing this driver. The driver just cruising right along as if he's out for a Sunday drive and no one's behind him, although there's 4 units of CHP with their lights and sirens blaring at this guy, along with the airship, or with the night sunlight overhead. There's no doubt they're behind him and above him, but he's just continuing on like it's any other day or night. So listening in now to the Santa Fe Springs CHP that's taken over from Westminster units now. Original one on this was speed. Reckless driving down in the El Cajon area. Speeds at one point there, this driver was reaching 80, 85 miles an hour down there in the San Diego area, but now has calmed the driving down a little bit, has been pretty calm and staying to 1 or 2 lanes at most, signaling politely as he changes those lanes. Coming now towards the city of Commerce. Currently in Downey. Who is that? Okay. Northbound 5 freeway. The speeds look like they picked up a little bit. There's the signal. He looks like he wants to get over 1 lane maybe there. I don't know. We'll see if that happens. But again, here as a wide shot, Santa Fe Springs units in position here. They're going to hand off shortly to East LA units. That's how it works with the CHP. It's relentless. This guy's not going to outrun them. He's going to run out of gas before the CHP does. approaching on the 5, northbound 5, approaching the Commerce Casino area. And the 710 will be the next interchange. Red Nissan Rogue. We have a 1 hour, Jack, 1 hour. Northbound 5, and we'll have the 710 here in a few miles. Northbound 5 at Washington and continuing at about 70 miles an hour. CHP saying that just one person in the car, the driver, they were able to figure that out earlier. It's going to be coming into some traffic here at the Citadel Shopping Center. A little heavier. You see that brake lights here. Here we go. We're going to see our first chance here. Some debris in the lanes there, but I don't know what that's from. That's what's causing the slowdown here, right near the Citadel outlets. The driver just handling it like as if nothing's going on behind him, but just going with the flow. Northbound 5, approaching the 710. He's got about a mile. Copy that. Getting information from our assignment desk manager, Jack Noy, saying about 130 to 150 miles covered in this pursuit so far, starting down in El Cajon and coming up now into the Commerce area, approaching that 710 freeway. The driver refusing to obey orders by the CHP to pull over, those lights and sirens glaring in his rear mirrors and not complying to them, so he's continuing on, staying in that middle lane, and it looks like he'll stay on the 5, passing the 710 here in a short time. Unless he dives over to the left, he'll stay on that 5 freeway, and we'll be coming into the Boyle Heights or the East LA interchange. Looks like that's what he's doing. He's committed south or northbound 5 from the 710 now. Well, he will have some choices for sure up here in the East LA interchange. The 60, he has the 5 to stay on, the 60, the 10, or the 101. The night sunlight of the California Highway Patrol helicopter overhead, the lights of the CHP units behind, lighting up the pursuit, blocking traffic from behind. And the driver just acting like they're not even there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if he stays in these the two he's going to make that decision shortly. Slowed down because a car got in front of him. Might be reading those signs up ahead to say or decide which way he's going to go. There's the gore point right there. It looks like 5. He's going to stay on the 5 northbound, northbound 5 through the East LA interchange. There's the gore point. Truck's getting over. There he is, committed northbound 5, it looks like. And again, thank you for joining us on the NBCLA app and NBCLA.com. Gil Levis and News Chopper 4 overhead with my pilot, Patrick McKernan, covering this police chase that's gone on now for 150 miles, starting in the San Diego area, moved up the 5 freeway, and now is in the Boyle Heights area, northbound 5 through the East LA interchange. Go ahead, Jack. Copy that. Northbound 5 freeway, coming up to the 10 freeway, and the vehicle continuing to failure to yield, I should say, with the lights and sirens for the last 150 miles, ignoring the CHP. Now my colleague tonight in News Chopper 4 Alpha, Megan Reyes, she's going to be picking up this pursuit soon. We're going to hand off the pursuit to her so we can go get fuel. But in the meantime, we're going to stay over this pursuit and bring you live coverage of it as it continues northbound 5 freeway. Through the 10 freeway now, is committed to that 5 northbound. So it's going to pass by the, or approach the 110 freeway interchange next. There's the 10, and now he'll have that opportunity in a couple miles to try to take the 110 or continue northbound on the 5. Looking at the 5 freeway up ahead, it looks like it's moving pretty well northbound. I'm seeing it all the way up into the Los Feliz area, and it's moving, looks like northbound quite well. So it's heading towards my colleague in News Chopper 4 Alpha, Megan Reyes, who's coming out of the Pacoima area shortly to take over for us as we go get fuel. But in the meantime, this pursuit still going about 70 miles an hour, still staying in the center of the freeway for the most part. A couple of spike strips that they tried to set up since we've been over it. We picked up the pursuit down in the San Clemente area and followed it up northbound on the 5. They tried a spike strip. They tried to set up a spike strip at the 73 interchange. We're not able to get the spike strip out in lanes. They did it again at Newport Avenue in the Tustin area on the 5. We're not able to get it out in lanes. And again in the Santa Fe Springs area, Norwalk area, right at the 605 and the 5 interchange, again, not able to get it out of lanes due to where the driver was driving and because of traffic. So We'll see if they try it up ahead, but again, the driver eventually is going to run out of fuel, and that's going to bring it to an end if the spike strips don't. The driver's going too fast for a pit maneuver, so that's out of the works right now. Northbound 5 passing the 110 right there, and he's continuing on that northbound 5, coming up to the Dodger Stadium area, Legion Park area, as he continues being chased by the California Highway Patrol in the air and on the ground. And also our ground reporters and photographers that are following the pursuit as well, trying to get the best shot of it on the ground as the driver continues here. Again, wanted for speed, failing to yield, and reckless driving down in El Cajon. Was driving around for a while, back and forth on surface streets, and then jumped on the 5 freeway eventually. Northbound 5 approaching Stadium Way. Now the 2 freeway is next. Pretty much this is the driving style of this driver since we got over it in the San Clemente area. This guy has been driving just like this, as if he was just part of the crowd out here on the freeway. Not really driving erratic, not really making evasive moves, not trying to dive onto another freeway at the very last second, like we see a lot of times in pursuits. He's just out for what looks like a leisurely drive right now. I really don't know what the range is on these Nissan Rogues, how long they can go on a full tank of gas, if he had a full tank of gas. We are coordinating with our other news helicopter, News Chopper 4 Alpha, to pick up the pursuit. It sounds like Megan Reyes and News Chopper 4 Alpha will pick up the pursuit here coming into the San Fernando Valley, kind of in the area of the Griffith Park Zoo. As soon as we get into that area, she's going to take over, and that'll be in the next few minutes. But you can see as I widen out the shot here, northbound 5 freeway, the CHP giving the driver some room there, some breathing room, but it looks like they're handing off to the next units to take over the pursuit. Altadena CHP will take over now and continue on. Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's I'm getting some really good information from my assignment desk manager Jack Noyes, who's telling me that I think he said 450-mile range on this vehicle on a full tank of gas, 33 miles on the highway and 14 in the city. So we've come now 150 miles or so from San Diego, and if he had a full tank, he still could go quite a ways, quite a while. So maybe the CHP will be able to get a spike strip out there somewhere. Maybe if he pulls off the freeway or decides to go back and get off the freeway and try to go southbound, there'll be an opportunity to get a spike strip out there, maybe a pit maneuver if he slows down enough. But if not, if he has a full tank of gas, this might go for a while. Speed it looks like he's picking it up now. Past the 2 freeway, approaching the 134 freeway. And again, the traffic light. In Burbank though, past the 134, there is some construction on the 5. If he chooses to stay on the 5 and not take the 134, there is some construction up ahead that he may face. But looking out that way, it looks like a little heavier traffic due to that construction area, but it's moving. So he'll likely have the same conditions throughout this pursuit since we've been on it down in San Clemente. Of course, News Chopper 4 Bravo, the first news helicopter on this pursuit, to bring you live coverage on NBCLA app and NBCLA.com. And in a short time now, you should be hearing from Megan Reyes here as we are now over the LA Zoo, and he's coming up to that 134 freeway. Red Nissan Rogue being chased by California Highway Patrol all the way from El Cajon. And now we got the 134. He looks like he's not going to do it. He's going to stay on the 5. Can jump over into that slow lane at the last minute and take it 134 westbound, but not going to do it. It doesn't look like it. The driver is sticking to the 5. He's been married to the 5 this whole time from San Diego here to Burbank. And
here we go. Here we go, KMBC 1 News Chopper Alpha. Gil Levis is just taking off right now. Gil Levis, News Chopper Bravo, handling this pursuit coming out of the San Diego area. News Chopper Bravo was the first covering this pursuit, and we actually made it through San Diego County into Orange County and now into our neck of the woods, KMBC News Chopper Alpha in Los Angeles County, coming up through the Burbank area. Here's the pursuit. We've been monitoring this. Gil Levis has been covering this on the 5 freeway, northbound side of the 5, just passing Western Avenue. This driver here is wanted for some type of speeding out of San Diego County. Failure to yield. This pursuit's been going on for 155 miles plus. Long pursuit here. We've seen these here in Southern California going through multiple counties right now. You can see as News Chopper 4 Alpha is getting into position. Northbound 5 just approaching Alameda here as we follow this pursuit going on for almost an hour and a half right now. You can see California Highway Patrol behind this vehicle. Still haven't got the confirmation. I believe at first they thought it was a male driver. Now I understand it might be a female driver. We'll get that information confirmed for me. But we do understand that this vehicle is just driving the speed limit, not one of those high-speed pursuits. Some folks may think this is a boring pursuit. However, it's good thing considering we're not seeing crazy erratic driving right now, and the number one safety that officers always are concerned about are the drivers and the civilians out there right now. So we're seeing this pursuit here on the Golden State Freeway, northbound side of the 5 coming through the downtown Burbank area. Looks like speeds right now are approximately 70 miles per hour. California Highway Patrol out of the, I think they're the East LA division, handling this pursuit. We also have other California Highway Patrol officers setting up position just north of here. That's the beauty with California Highway Patrols. Each division will take over the pursuit. They know that typical jurisdiction, so that's why they will hand it off to another unit right now. So we have Newhall units standing by to take this over shortly. Now, if this goes up into the Newhall past the Cajon area, it's going to be a little tricky. Gets a little dark up in that area. Air units sometimes have a challenge, especially at nighttime. News Chopper 4 Alpha with pilot Derek Bell handling this right now. North 5 approaching Burbank Boulevard. Vehicle traveling number 3 lane at about 67 miles per hour. Hey, can we confirm, was this a woman? Is this a female driver or a male, please? Derek, can I get some air back here, please? Do you mind? Please, thanks. Oh, okay. All right, I thought I heard somebody saying it was a female driver on the other station. Thanks. KMBC News Chopper Alpha covering this pursuit right now. We're trying to zoom in to get an idea of this driver, male or female. Regardless, we do know this driver may be the only solo occupant in this vehicle. Rogue, red vehicle. I think that might be a Nissan Rogue. Northbound 5 freeway here, just passing Burbank Boulevard, going through some of the construction zone. About 60 miles per hour. That's San Fernando Road to the top of your screen. You can see as this vehicle is passing the big rig. I'm hearing about possible spike strips. We're not obviously going to give that location, but that may be a situation where they may want to start to think about bringing this pursuit to a safe ending, considering it started out of San Diego County. Long pursuits here, well, almost to 200 miles per hour, making pretty decent time out of San Diego all the way up through Orange County into Los Angeles County, and now we're in the San Fernando Valley, coming up through the Sun Valley area here shortly. North 5 freeway, Golden State. You can see this vehicle failing to yield to California Highway Patrol. Talk to me, guys. What do you say? Okay, so now CHP confirming. I'm getting that information from the assignment desk. We do have a female driver here, so female driver covering this pursuit here through several counties and North 5 Golden State Freeway. Still averaging, I would say, relatively safe speeds, considering we're not seeing any erratic driving, any sudden lane swerving. Vehicle right now, I'm clocking this vehicle here at about 65 miles per hour. North 5 approaching the Sun Valley area. In fact, we're right near Burbank Airport. To give you an idea, Burbank Airport is to the left side of that driver. As we continue on the North 5, the next major intersection is going to be the 5170, and really, unless if that driver exits the freeway, she will be committed to this 5 Golden State Freeway. About 50 miles per hour, according to California Highway Patrol for LA standards. That's a little slow on those freeways, but look how fast that vehicle is going. Coming by some of those big rigs. Most likely the situation, those big rigs are seeing all the lights here. Let me show you how many California Highway Patrol units right now. We have about 4 units on scene right now. Usually you have the primary, the secondary, and then a supervisor. K9 unit is one of those. That's some of the standard right now. They want to make sure they have a K9 unit in case this ends and turns into a foot pursuit. That's a situation where they may have to utilize that resource. A K9 dog will be deployed. 5 Freeway Golden State. Next major exit's going to be Sunland Boulevard. You can see that Nissan Rogue north on the 5. Female driver failing to comply to law enforcement officers. She hasn't pulled over, coming up on almost 200 miles, considering this is out of San Diego County, coming up all the way into LA County. We're in the San Fernando Valley. We'll be approaching that 5170 split here in a second. Approaching the 5 Sunland Boulevard now, CHP telling us 70 miles per hour, still some safe speeds, and that's probably why they really haven't engaged as far as the spike strip earlier. Usually when we start seeing some dangerous situations, they may the California Highway Patrol. I'm trying to pull this email up here. California Highway Patrol is taking over from the Newhall units. Newhall units are taking over right now. Those vehicles, those CHP cars, full of gas right now. So that is their advantage. They're just hoping that this vehicle eventually will run out of gas and pull over theirs. Jack, I still haven't got your email here. Hey, desk, I don't have your email yet. I just updated. News Chopper 4 Alpha covering this pursuit. Gil Levis was the first on scene. Picked this up over in the San Clemente area. Originated out of San Diego County. And you can see that light there reflecting there. Earlier, Gil Levis was using the infrared, and we saw what appears to be some flashing light in there. You can see the driver throughout this pursuit has also been signaling as she's been making left turns, right turns, merging rather. So we're driving very more cautiously rather than what we see on other pursuits right now. So fortunately, that's good news considering this situation here as we follow this pursuit. North on the 5 Golden State Freeway, we're approaching this 5170 merge. Some activity over to the right shoulder. I'm looking ahead. We see wide open freeways here. Southern California freeways look good. Coming up on 10 o'clock here. Golden State Freeway through the Pacoima area. That's just passing the Sheldon on-ramp. There's that big rigs merging onto the freeway. You can see the vehicle failing to yield. That's being assisted with the California Highway Patrol, that night sun lighting up the vehicle. Driver is well aware that she is failing to comply with officers. The reason, they do not know. Most likely they may have run that license plate. They may already know who this person is. May be in contact with family members to find out what the situation is. A lot of information going on behind the scenes. Dispatchers are working just as hard as those California Highway Patrol officers on scene right now, handling that situation, calling out the locations, making sure officers have all the vital information they need, covering this pursuit now coming up through Pacoima, North 5, just passing the 170. $70 miles per hour, maintaining that speed for quite some time. In fact, I haven't seen this vehicle go faster for the past 15, 20 minutes. One point, the highest rate of speed was about 80 miles per hour, but really that wasn't too significant considering that was in South Orange County with some wide open freeways there. So we're coming up on Osborne Street. This is the area where News Chopper 4 Alpha is located in this neck of the woods. So we're handling this pursuit right now while Gil Levis gets some fuel. Again, Gil Levis and News Chopper 4 Bravo was covering this pursuit out of San Diego County, picked it up in the San Clemente area, just a straight shot along the I-5 freeway. Next major intersection is going to be the 118, but considering that she's on the left-hand side, looks like she may be considering continuing on the North 5, rather up into the Newhall Pass. California Highway Patrol officers closely behind. We're monitoring them. You've got the primary unit, you've got the secondary unit, you've got usually a supervisor, and one of those may be the canine. In fact, that might be the canine there. Canine officer is handling, in fact, there it is. You can see right there on the top of the screen or on top of the hood, it says canine there. So they do have a canine CHP following closely. That's just a resource that they use in case this pursuit ends in a foot pursuit and they need to deploy a dog in order to apprehend the suspect. Merging to the left lane right now. The driver's slowly, cautiously making sure there's no other vehicles there. Obviously, that's not going to be a factor considering CHP's the one behind her. Using signals, just going by other vehicles nonchalantly. We see some of these pursuits on the freeways where they drive erratically, and such erratic lane changes creates a danger for people down below on the freeways. We haven't seen that right now, and that's obviously good news. We don't want to see anybody get hurt right now. Such a strategic decision law enforcement officers make whether or not they're going to continue a pursuit. There's a lot of information that we may not be aware of that they are aware of. Are they going to pursue if it's just a stolen vehicle? This vehicle wanted for alleged speeding. Perhaps there's more to it that we're not aware of right now. Law enforcement officers and dispatchers working. As we merge to the right here, we can see this vehicle passing Brand on the 5 freeway. We're just north of the 118, about 65 miles per hour. Okay, why are you looking like that? There we go. News Chopper 4 Alpha with the map overlay system right now. I'm seeing about 65 miles per hour. I can see it right over here on my screen to the left. Number 3 lane, they're saying now kind of merging to the number 2. And you can see she's constantly using her blinker here. So at least she's aware of trying to drive safely, just not complying with law enforcement officers. And we're going to be going up into the Newhall Pass, Santa Clarita Valley here shortly. So this pursuit, a 3-county pursuit, San Diego County, Orange County, LA County. Vehicle over to the right shoulder, that may be an awaiting CHP officer from the Newhall Division. So starting to slow down a little. I'm kind of noticing that, whether or not an issue may be coming up with whether this person has sufficient gas. But you can see now we're starting to see more weaving there from the right lane to the left lane, back to the right lane. However, each time she does those maneuvers, she is signaling, so we're still not seeing any erratic, unsafe driving. It's better to see a pursuit here most of the time on freeways rather than surface streets. And I'm looking up ahead. I see some California Highway Patrol units coming down toward this with their lights and sirens on, so perhaps they are coming here to intercept this pursuit as well. Okay, I got those guys. And we're just passing the 5405 merge here in the San Fernando Valley, coming up into the Sylmar area, Golden State Freeway 5 northbound. This pursuit that originated out of San Diego County. Vehicle right now going about 73 miles per hour. You're going to see the 210 coming up next. And if this driver stays in the left lane, looks like she may be committed to the 5 freeway here. So it looks like we're most likely going to be going up into the Newhall Pass, covering this pursuit here from News Chopper 4 Alpha. You're watching this on the NBC4 app or on the web. Right now, Golden State Freeway is where this pursuit is. 5 northbound approaching the 210 through the Sylmar area. California Highway Patrol units are setting up position here from the Newhall area. We've got the primary unit, secondary unit, most likely a supervisor, and a canine unit on scene as well if needed. Right there, you can see these are new haul units right there. The strategic position, how they come in and they're going to take over the pursuit. They're going to call these units off. They're going to take over right now, calling those other units here to disengage. And we've got some additional units. Okay, so I'm listening to possible spike strips being set up along one of these freeways here. They feel confident where they may be able to safely deploy a spike strip and see what happens here. Traffic is light right now, so that's another reason why you see the CHP still engaged in this pursuit right now. We have a couple of units here following this. We have an airship above, might be from the California Highway Patrol. Other law enforcement agencies can provide assistance if that helicopter needs to land for fuel. Earlier, Gil Levis was covering this pursuit. He has to since land for fuel to refuel News Chopper Bravo right now. This is the 5 northbound approaching the 514 split. Got about 4 units covering this, maybe 5 now, got an additional unit, but they're gonna get this driver here one way or another, just hoping this pursuit will come to a safe end. Ideally, vehicle just run out of gas, been going on for a long time out of San Diego County, so hopefully that will be the situation that'll bring this pursuit to a safe ending. Just monitoring the California Highway Patrol as they're setting up the units into position right now. New units are taking over 5 northbound, just beyond the 1470 miles per hour. So, KNBC News Chopper 4 Alpha, we're going to have to reboot our feed right now. Don't touch that app. We're going to be right back. You're going to see black for about 60 seconds as we do some maintenance work here, but keep it here. We're going to keep you posted on this pursuit here as we do some technical work here real quick, and we'll be back and let you know the progress of this pursuit. Roger that, going out on satellite. Roger. Hey Derek, what airship is that? Is that CHP? Okay. I know you guys have a limit. Where's your limit up here? Because of the darkness. No, okay. I know the airships usually don't go beyond that. Oops, wrong one. Don't worry, people. We're still here. Yeah, I do not like infrared. It's big fat negative Ghost Rider. There we go. 5 northbound gold is. Just trying to get some information. We're just south of Calgrove here. 5 freeway northbound stretch. North 5, south of Calgrove. North 5 approaching the old road. North 5 approaching the old road. Ooh. You're on Oat, by the way, if I didn't tell you. You're on Oat. News Chopper 4 Alpha back with you here. We're covering a pursuit here. Golden State Freeway. We're in the Santa Clarita Valley northbound side of the 5, just passing the old road. This vehicle right here coming up on Calgrove actually here. This vehicle this pursuit originated here out of San Diego County. We understand law enforcement officers down in San Diego trying to pull this vehicle over so for some type of erratic driving on surface streets. Vehicle got onto the I-5 freeway, continued northbound, failed to yield to law enforcement officers. Went through the Orange County area on the I-5 freeway, out of San Diego, through Orange County, up into Los Angeles County, and now we're up through the Santa Clarita Valley on the 5 northbound. Should be coming up here on the next major street, which I think will be Lyons here. Each time this female driver merges, she uses her signal. You can see California Highway Patrol closely behind. Traffic looks good right now. Here's an additional resource coming available right now. California Highway Patrol has a lot of officers. We may actually have sheriff's helicopter above lighting up the scene right now. Multiple agencies working, coordinating together to bring this pursuit to a safe end. 5 freeway northbound, just coming up on Lyons here. Trying to get the information here from the CHP as they're having some additional units back out here. So they're just doing some they're just having some other units take primary here. So Golden State Freeway 5 northbound here, approaching Lyons here. She's slowing down, Derek. Hey, Derek. Okay, so we're getting some more information about this vehicle. Original want was for speeding, but we understand this driver may have a couple of restraining orders. So a little more information there. That's coming in from the California Highway Patrol. You know, we see a lot of this happening. We see the CHP, we see all these officers, but what we fail to recognize sometimes are the dispatchers there for the California Highway Patrol. They're doing a lot of work behind the scenes. They're trying to make sure that those officers down there know all the pertinent information pertaining to this pursuit. Safety is their concern. They want to make sure those officers know all the information, whether or not this person is considered armed and dangerous. That's not the situation right now. They're just indicating right now that this person has a couple of restraining orders, may be a reason why this person is failing to comply to law enforcement. So right now we're still on this pursuit here. 5 freeway, northbound stretch of the 5 freeway. And just passing McBean Parkway. We're just passing McBean Parkway here. News Chopper 4 Alpha covering this pursuit here as this vehicle is going about 63 miles per hour here through the Santa Clarita Valley. She's starting to slow down significantly there. Yeah, she's stopping. Looks like she's actually stopping, perhaps running out of gas. Looks like the vehicle is, this is 5 northbound, just past McBean Parkway here. Abruptly stopped that vehicle. You can see how the car just slammed on its brakes right now. Situation's going to handle now. They're going to put all lanes are being shut down here on this 5 northbound. They're going to do what they call a felony stop right now. Summon the driver to come out of the vehicle. Are we going to go on delay, guys? We're going to be very cautious as far as to what we show here. Make sure that we don't show anything that's sensitive right here. So right here we can see the driver really not complying right now. Let me turn this down. Let me show you right now what's happening. California Highway Patrol shutting down the freeway. Most likely we probably have the K9 unit there as well. There's the K9 unit. You see that dog right there? That dog is ready to be deployed if necessary. We have that officer there. We have a couple of the primary units with their doors open. Guns are pointed toward this vehicle. Obviously, they're summoning this person to come out. Perhaps she's been on her phone. We saw indication with cell phone lights that perhaps she was talking on the phone during this. So we don't know if she's in contact with anybody from law enforcement or family or friends. But right now we can tell you this pursuit has come to an abrupt end on the Golden State Freeway in the Santa Clarita Valley. This is on the 5 northbound, just past McBean Parkway, where all lanes are closed on the northbound side. And for precaution reasons, they may actually shut down southbound side of the 5 freeway. That is yet to be seen. But right now it's a standoff here, trying to get this driver to surrender peacefully. I can't hear you. I can't hear you guys. Talk to me on the 450. Talk to me on the 450 desk. CHP indicating there's no movement inside. Desk, you're going to have to talk to me on the 450. I can't hear you on the 161. It's on the 5 north. It's on the freeway. It's on the freeway. It's on the 5 northbound, just past McBean Parkway. 5 northbound past McBean Parkway. Now you have the police helicopter just relayed down to the units that there's no movement in the vehicle. You can see California Highway Patrol officers behind. They still have their guns on that vehicle. You've got these cars passing through this area. Probably not the best idea. Most likely they're going to try to shut down those lanes there shortly. Again, Golden State Freeway 5 northbound just beyond McBean Parkway. They may consider shutting down the southbound lanes as this pursuit has come to an end here on the I-5 freeway. No movement in the car. Person is not complying with law enforcement officers right now. They are summoning that driver to come out of the vehicle with her hands up. So far that is not the case. We can see, in fact, you know what, it appears that the driver is there looking on a cell phone. Gil Leva saw that earlier right now, and that appears to be, from what we can see. Let me try to put in a little more double zoom here, and you can see the reflection of the lights on the person's face, and that's most likely some type of mobile device or an electronic iPad or something of that nature, but most likely the person's talking on a mobile phone or something of that nature right now. We do know this person is not complying. No movement. Yes, go Jamie. Jamie, it's on the 5 northbound. North 5, no worries, just past McBean Parkway. I-5 northbound past McBean Parkway. I am hot. Derek, can I get some AC? I'm sorry, I'm burning up in here. There, I took off my... Okay, so they're going to walk up now with less lethal. This is kind of unusual, but you can see these officers right here cautiously approaching the vehicle. Let me record this. Cautiously approaching. You can see that's less lethal. They may... I'm going to see what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to get a visual, see what the driver's doing, if the driver's coherent. Yeah, there's movement in there. So the driver is moving. I do see the hands right now. Officers are backing away right now. So the driver is aware. Going to see what those officers are indicating. But again, from my perspective, looks like this driver may be on something. You can see, meaning talking on a phone or distracted with something like that. Hold on. Okay, so they're giving commands to the driver. They deployed something to the right side of the vehicle, giving commands, telling that driver to come out. So it looks like I'm seeing some more movement on the front side here. Whether or not they put, I think it was a beanbag. I don't think they put any pepper pellets in that vehicle. You can see the driver turning around. Still failing to comply to law enforcement officers. They got their guns drawn. They're pointing at her. They're making sure they have visual, making sure there's no other people in that vehicle. But obviously a dangerous situation considering this person is holed up in the vehicle. Another possibility is deploying the canine. They don't want to do that, but that's a resource that's available to them if they feel the necessity. Officers slowly looking again. You see those two California Highway Patrol officers in the tanned uniforms. The one in the dark uniform has the less lethal weapon. You can see the reflection there on the person's face, lit up. We don't know if that's from some cell phone device or something, but person just, here we go. Officers are approaching the vehicle. Highly unusual seeing them get that close to a vehicle. I could see this officer's just taking the risk here. No movement. According to the, I'm going to pull back just a little, guys, here. I mean, it appeared there was movement, but maybe there isn't. We don't know the status of the driver, whether the driver's conscious or not. Units are on both sides of the vehicle right now, opening that door. Looks like the driver is aware. Fighting a little. You can see that driver is fighting with officers, not complying. They're just going to detain that subject, pull her out of the vehicle, and really forcibly remove her. I don't see that too often, but they felt that it was a safe situation just to go in and get this person, and that's what they did. This pursuit finally come to an end. Nearly 2 hours long. I-5 Golden State Freeway started there in San Diego, ended here in Santa Clarita, North 5, just beyond McBean Parkway. You can see they're opening up the, can I get to the side so I can see that driver, please? You can see them opening up that trunk there, making sure that there's nobody in the trunk. Believe it or not, it has happened before. That's a situation before they clear that vehicle. They want to make sure that trunk is cleared as well. We're getting into position right now so we can see this driver and her body language and what she's doing. But pretty much officers went in, grabbed her. They weren't going to waste any more time on this driver, brought her into custody right now. And fortunately, this pursuit has come to a safe end. Officers are going to secure the scene right now. They're going to put the driver in custody, and they're going to clear these lanes here and drive that vehicle off the freeway shortly here. But we can show you right now, pursuit has come to an end here, I-5 freeway northbound just beyond McBean Parkway. And you can see officers are driving that red vehicle. They're going to take it off of the freeway. You're still on Oat. All right, guys, that's all she wrote.
Oh, no!
We have a suspect running. Oh, this is going to be close.
To watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The Chase is on.